Let's dive into the medieval roots of the Gargoyles saga with the new miniseries Gargoyles Dark Ages. This 6-issue series by Greg Weisman, the original creator, and artist Drew Moss transports fans to Scotland in the year 971 AD. Here, in a world where humans and gargoyles coexist, albeit uneasily, we're given a chance to explore the clan's early days. While the iconic cartoon kicked off in 994 AD at Castle Wyvern and quickly jetted to modern New York City, Gargoyles Dark Ages stays grounded in medieval Scotland. This setting provides a fresh backdrop to delve into the lives of fan-favorite characters like Goliath and Demona in their ancestral land. The first issue introduces us to a time when Hudson, not yet Goliath, plays the central role as the clan's leader and strategist. His wisdom and leadership are focal points, shaping the clan's dynamics. Goliath, who is destined to lead, currently plays a smaller part, though there's a hint of connection to the tales we know from modern times. Gargoyles Dark Ages promises to be a thrilling journey into the untold past of a fan-favorite universe. So, without further ado, let's begin, shall we? Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. The year is 971, and we see a slightly younger, or rather less older version of Hudson, watching two men on horseback as they approach a hill where the Wyvern Gargoyle clan dwells. One of them spots a gargoyle approaching and asks his companion to dismount and warns him, "Whatever you do, keep your hands in plain view and off your sword." Any guesses at who these people might be? Well, the first one is Robert, who we better know as the captain of the guards and the commander of the guards of Castle Wyvern. And the other was Prince Malcolm, the younger brother of King Kenneth and the youngest son of King Mal Shalvim. They are greeted by one of the most awesome-looking gargoyles ever, Coldstone, who kind of asks them the purpose of their visit. Robert tells him that they had come to see the leader of the Wyvern clan. Hudson offers a cautious welcome to the humans and asks what it was that they wanted. Robert spoke first, reminding Hudson that they knew each other and that he grew up amongst the gargoyles in the village down in the Reach, where his daughter still lived with her grandmother. He then went on to introduce Malcolm, rightly Prince Malcolm. Malcolm then went on to state his request before Hudson. You see, Malcolm's brother, King Duff, had been killed by the tyrant King Cullen, who usurped the throne. And now Malcolm's elder brother, the rightful King Kenneth, assumed to take back the throne from Cullen. Of course, these were way too many names for the gargoyles, who did not yet believe in the concept of having names. Throughout the story, we get to see several younger selves of the gargoyles we saw in the animated show, and of course, they will have a role to play in the latter part. Anyway, Hudson was wary of outrightly trusting the humans. However, Robert spoke up. "Trust in our deeds and in our history together. You know, my people, the village folk, respect the clan as protectors and have never violated their daylight sanctity." On the other hand, Cullen's men made sport of such mayhem. Malcolm and Robert's proposition was simple. If the gargoyles joined them in the fight against Cullen, they would offer protection to the gargoyles during the day. Hudson asked the men to wait by their horses so that the clan could discuss what to do about the offer of alliance. Hudson knew that the two lads had come to him and his kind with strictly human problems, but his mate reminded him that, more times than not, human problems rapidly become gargoyle problems. But Hudson had a major decision to make. It was not just about trusting the humans. Joining them in battle would mean casualties, and not just on the human side. Nevertheless, Hudson agreed to go ahead with forming an alliance with the humans, as it was the only way to ensure that Cullen and his men did not trouble the gargoyles. The following night, Kenneth, Malcolm, Robert, and Hudson met the king in his tent to draw out a battle strategy. The king had planned to keep the gargoyles as backup, but Hudson wasn't one to stay out of the fray. He liked the taste of a good fight. But that was also the case with most other gargoyles, especially those trained in battle. A young Goliath, his mate Demona, who was called Angel in 971, and other gargoyle warriors trained in battle were not happy about waiting on the sidelines while Hudson took others to battle. Goliath asked why Hudson would do such a thing, to which Hudson replied, If the night goes badly, I need warriors trained and ready, still alive to protect our home and eggs." The following day, the battle between the forces of Kenneth and Cullen began. It raged on from dusk till dawn, and once the sun set, the gargoyles arose from their stony slumbering, ready to take on the battle. However, many of the younger gargoyles were not happy about sitting on their wings, watching and doing nothing. Despite Goliath's refusal, they flew into battle, even Angel, and that's where the first issue ends. Gargoyles Dark Ages 1 offers a fresh artistic take on our favorite characters. While the artwork veers away from the original show's style, it dives deeper into detail, making Goliath, Hudson, and Demona instantly recognizable. The climax, which shows the gargoyles soaring into battle, captures their essence, a mix of ferocity and nobility. The art is particularly striking in its depiction of time, with the colorist skillfully using sunrise and sunset hues to highlight the significance of daylight in the gargoyles' existence. This issue isn't just a visual treat, it enriches the gargoyles' lore, delving into their history beyond what the show revealed. The draw. The battle was in full swing between the two forces. Cullen considered it but a small setback that Kenneth had gargoyles fighting for him. He was a fine warrior himself and knew how to play with the cards he was dealt with. In fact, he too had some supernatural tricks up his sleeves that he was about to pull. He sent a message to his sorcerer Valois. The evil sorcerer cast a spell that brought the icy waters to life, turning it into enormous hands that ensnared several gargoyles. However, Kenneth's sorcerer did his thing, and Valois' magic was countered almost immediately. As had been previously expected, the casualties were increasing on either side. But the biggest blow came when Hudson's mate was killed in battle. He could not stand the sight of her death and charged at Cullen's men with vicious ferocity. Furthermore, Kenneth's men were also proving to be much better than Cullen's men, who were now outnumbered 2-1. Cullen knew that the only wise move was a retreat. But how? Kenneth never allowed that now that he was about to win. But Cullen had a plan. He charged into the battlefield and managed to get his hands on Angel, who was also Hudson's daughter, in addition to being Goliath's mate. You know what this means, right? Cullen could now use the daughter of the gargoyle leader to get what he wanted. Naturally, he demanded that he and his troops should be allowed to escape scot-free from the battleground if they wanted to see Angel alive. Kenneth and his sorcerer objected, claiming that one gargoyle's life was nothing before an entire kingdom. But Hudson would obviously not budge from his stand. However, Malcolm spoke up, telling his king brother that he had sworn an oath to the gargoyles. He managed to make Kenneth see the reason for Hudson's decision and allowed Cullen to escape with his men and Angel. Kenneth and Goliath could not believe that they let Cullen and Angel go. Of course, the emotions behind this were poles apart. However, Hudson spoke up in a rage. "We let no one go. I told you all to trust me. By this time tomorrow night, I will bring the conflict to an end. So swear I." With that, we've concluded half the story of this 4-issue miniseries. In Gargoyles Dark Ages number 2, the artwork continues to be aesthetically beautiful, giving a new twist to our beloved characters, distinct yet not mirroring the animation style of the original show. The comic is visually striking with its full-page spreads of gargoyles in action, notably capturing Hudson's emotive close-up and the scene where he holds his fallen mate. These visuals pull us into Hudson's world, with the night sky's reddish-brown tones during intense moments hinting at his deep-seated grief and rage. The story's pace is deliberate, taking its time to reintroduce us to the gargoyles' ancient Scottish roots. Though the plot unfolds slowly, the artwork compensates, beautifully conveying a range of emotions from sorrow to fury. This issue continues to deepen the gargoyle mythology, leaving us curious about what other historical secrets will come to light. The Oath. Kenneth's sorcerer created a distraction by using lightning to burn Cullen's stables and other structures. On the other hand, Goliath and Hudson were ready to bring back Angel. Cullen was killed by Hudson, and Goliath saved Angel. However, Cullen had an infant son named Constantine. Although Cullen was no more, Constantine committed none of his father's crimes. Kenneth agreed to raise the child under his care. The following night, Kenneth was coronated, and he awarded the title of prince to his brother Malcolm. A young girl named Alicent, Robert's daughter, wanted to see the coronation of the new king. However, her father realized the importance of the sacrifice that the gargoyles had made. He knew that without them, there would have been no victory and no freedom. so he took Alicent to the funeral of the 3 fallen gargoyles. The next few panels are spent on this sad farewell, but nothing much happens here. A few nights later, Prince Malcolm came to meet Hudson. He had come with the sorcerer, and both these men had propositions for a specific gargoyle each. Malcolm tells Hudson that Wyvern had always been the gateway to Scotland, making it a strategic location that needed protection, so he proposed the building of a castle at Wyvern. On the other hand, the sorcerer offered to teach Angel his skills so that she would never feel powerless again and that she would never be captured again. Hudson was suspicious of the offer being made to him by Malcolm, falsely believing that Malcolm wanted to displace the gargoyles, but Malcolm wanted quite the opposite. He wanted men and gargoyles to live together. Hudson saw reason at the prospect of gargoyles and humans protecting each other day and night. Additionally, even Angel agreed to the proposition offered by the sorcerer. However, there was more to this than what met the eyes, and with that, we inch closer to the last leg of the story. Gargoyles Dark Ages number 3 leans heavily on its artwork to convey the story, sometimes even more effectively than the dialogue. The opening 3 pages are a silent testament to this, letting the visuals do the talking. One of the best sequences is when Goliath and Hudson heroically rescue Demona, their imposing figures dramatically illustrated as they tower over human adversaries. Kenneth's sorcerer, or the Archmage's increasing madness in his quest for power, is vividly captured through the lighting that not only strikes around him, but also eerily emanates from his eyes. This issue also delves into gargoyle culture, showing rituals like the Wind Ceremony, and reinforces the unity of the Gargoyle clan through a striking depiction of them soaring into the night sky. Moss's artistry shines in scenes where rain pours down on the gargoyles, adding a tangible sense of atmosphere. The concluding page sets the stage for impending dangers for both humans and gargoyles. Action and intensity ramp up in this issue, which also explores the beginnings of Demona's apprenticeship under the Archmage. This raises intriguing questions. What new adversary will the gargoyles face next? And will this new challenge bring them closer together or drive a wedge between them? The Promise. Gargoyles Dark Ages number 4 shifts gears, focusing less on high-octane action and more on setting the stage for future events. Post-battle, we see the aftermath of Prince Malcolm's victory, with Demona's rescue and a new castle symbolizing a fresh start for human-gargoyle relations. Yet beneath this veneer of peace, Wiseman deftly sows seeds of mistrust and suspicion, hinting that this alliance might be more fragile than it appears. This issue is heavy on world building, showing the new normal years after the Battle of Wyvern Hill. It's a detailed narrative canvas, peppered with subtle cues of potential conflicts, although the pace is more subdued with less immediate drama. The strength of Gargoyles Dark Ages number 4 lies in its rich character roster and the depth of the world they inhabit. Wiseman's commitment to detailed storytelling is clear, preparing the ground for future developments without leaving gaps. This approach, while informative, might not captivate younger readers looking for more immediate thrills. Robert is promoted, and his daughter, Alicent, can be seen alongside familiar gargoyle faces in their younger days: Brooklyn, Lexington, and Broadway. Goliath and Demona's relationship, as well as Coldfire and Coldstone's dynamics, are thrown light upon. There's also a closer look at Demona's early encounters with dark magic under the Archmage. The artwork remains consistent and engaging, particularly in portraying the youthful innocence of the child gargoyles and humans. While Gargoyles Dark Ages number 4 might not deliver the action-packed narrative some fans expect, it excels in deepening the lore and relationship within the Gargoyles universe. It sets the stage for what's to come, particularly focusing on the early influences shaping characters like Demona. There are 2 more issues in the pipeline, so we are yet to reach the year 994 when the animated series started. What happened in the animated show? The Gargoyles animated series picks up a few years after the comics in 994 AD. This is when Demona, along with Captain Robert, betrays Castle Wyvern to Viking invaders led by Hakon. Their goal was to better the Gargoyles' plight and get back at the humans for their harsh treatment. But things go south quickly. The Vikings, capitalizing on the Gargoyles' daytime vulnerability, wreak havoc, destroying nearly all of them while they sleep. When Goliath and his mentor return, they are shocked to learn that only a few gargoyles and a gargoyle beast survive. Enraged, they track down the Vikings to the Archmage's cave. Demona, having escaped the massacre, plans to return to the castle, but her timing is off and she arrives to find the remaining gargoyles under a curse, doomed to sleep until their castle touches the sky. Fast forward a millennium and the plot thickens. Future of the franchise. Gary Dauberman is set to breathe new life into the Gargoyles, this time in live-action form on Disney+. Teaming up with James Wan's production company Atomic Monster, Dauberman takes on multiple roles as writer, producer, and showrunner for this exciting reboot. This project follows the trend of transforming animated classics into live action, much like the adaptation of One Piece. Now with Dauberman's involvement, known for his contributions to the horror genre through the Annabelle series and The Nun in Wan's Conjuring universe, expectations are high. Although details about the project's progress remain under wraps, this announcement is sure to spark excitement among fans of the original series and newcomers alike. We are excited, are you? And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one, and be safe. Thanks, everyone.